Marcus woke up Thursday morning to an email from Assistant Director Owens. Subject: Lieutenant Davis investigation, your testimony required. Read: Davis's resignation changes nothing. We're opening a full investigation into complaint suppression at Riverside PD. You'll need to provide testimony on every case you're aware of where complaints were buried or minimized. Meeting Monday, 9 a.m. Bring everything you have. Marcus read it twice. Then he started going through his memories. Every time he'd filed a report. Every time a complaint had been mentioned and then vanished. Every time Davis had said, "I'll handle it," and nothing happened. There were dozens. Maybe more. His phone rang. "Danny, you made the news again," his brother said. No greeting. "What?" "Lieutenant Davis resigned. The department's calling it retirement, but everyone knows. Channel 7 is reporting that an unnamed whistleblower exposed him for burying complaints. They're not saying your name, but..." Danny paused. "Everyone knows it's you." Marcus felt his stomach tighten. "What are people saying?" "Cops. They're calling you a rat. A traitor. Saying you're destroying good men to save yourself." Danny's voice got quieter. "But civilians, the community, they're calling you brave. Saying it's about time someone told the truth." "I'm not brave. I'm just trying to make this right." "Well, you're making enemies fast. Be careful, Marcus. Davis has friends. And some of them are dangerous." They hung up. Marcus sat on the edge of his motel bed, staring at nothing. Dangerous. Danny was right. Cops who felt betrayed didn't just get angry. They got vengeful. His phone buzzed. Another unknown number. Marcus almost didn't answer. But something made him. "Hello. Is this Marcus Reed?" A woman's voice. Young. Scared. "Yes. Who is this?" "My name is Keisha Williams. I was Sergeant Thomas Reed's neighbor." "Your father's neighbor." Marcus's blood went cold. "What about my father?" "I need to talk to you. About something that happened. Something he did. Something I've been too scared to talk about for years, but after seeing what you're doing, I think I need to tell someone." "What did he do?" "Not over the phone. Can we meet? Somewhere public." Marcus's mind raced. His father. What had his father done? "Mario's Diner. Noon today. I'll be there." "Okay. Thank you. I wasn't sure you'd listen." "I'll listen. I promise." The line went dead. Marcus sat there, phone in hand. His father. More secrets. More damage. How deep did this go? He arrived at Mario's Diner at 11:45. Sat in the same booth where Agent Foster had offered him a chance at redemption. Ordered coffee he didn't drink. At 12:03, a young black woman walked in. Early 20s. Nervous. Her eyes scanned the diner until she found Marcus. She approached slowly. "Mr. Reed. Ms. Williams. Please, sit." She slid into the booth across from him. Her hands were shaking. "Thank you for meeting me," she said quietly. "I almost didn't come. I've been trying to forget about this for 6 years. But then I saw you on TV. Saw you admit what you did. And I thought, maybe someone will finally believe me." "What happened?" Keisha took a breath. "I was 16. It was summer 2019. Your father was still alive. Still a sergeant. He lived 3 houses down from us. My mom always said he was a good man. A hero. Someone we should respect." Marcus felt dread building. "One night, I was walking home from my friend's house. It was late. Maybe 10:30. Your father was outside, working on his car. He saw me. Called me over." She wrapped her hands around her coffee cup. "At first it was normal. Asked how school was. How my family was. Then he said." Her voice cracked. He said he'd gotten reports of suspicious activity in the neighborhood. Young black kids causing trouble. He wanted to search my backpack. Did you let him? I didn't know I could say no. He was a cop, a sergeant, an authority figure. So I let him. Tears started falling. He dumped everything out. My school books, my wallet, my tampons, everything. Right there on the sidewalk. And he laughed. Said he was just making sure I wasn't carrying anything I shouldn't. Marcus felt sick, but that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was when he said, "You're a pretty girl, Keisha. Smart too. You should be careful walking alone at night. Never know what might happen. Good thing I'm watching out for you." She wiped her eyes. It felt like a threat. Like he was saying he could do something to me if he wanted. And no one would stop him. "Did you tell anyone?" "I told my mom. She didn't believe me. Said I must have misunderstood. That Sergeant Reed was a respected officer. That he was just doing his job." Keisha's voice got harder. "So I kept quiet. Avoided him. Took different routes home. But every time I saw him, every time he looked at me, I felt dirty. Scared. Small." Marcus couldn't speak. His father, his hero, had terrorized a 16-year-old girl. "When I saw you on TV," Keisha continued, "when I heard you admit to profiling people, to abusing your power, I realized your father did the same thing. He just never got caught. Never faced consequences. He died a hero while people like me carried the trauma he caused." "I'm so sorry," Marcus whispered. "For what he did. For what I became. For all of it. I don't want your apology. I want people to know. I want your father's legacy to reflect the truth. Not the lie everyone believes." She pulled out a notebook. Old. Worn. I wrote everything down. Every encounter. Every uncomfortable moment. Every time he made me feel unsafe. It's all here. She slid it across the table. Marcus opened it. Page after page of entries. Dates. Times. Descriptions. All in neat handwriting. All describing encounters with Sergeant Thomas Reed. "There are others," Keisha said. "Other girls in the neighborhood. Other young black women he targeted. But they won't come forward. Too scared. Too ashamed. Too convinced no one will believe them." Marcus looked at the notebook. Evidence of his father's abuse. Evidence that would destroy the Reed family legacy completely. Can I keep this? Give it to the FBI. That's why I brought it. Agent Foster already knows. I called her yesterday. She said you were cooperating. That you might be willing to expose your father too." Keisha met his eyes. "Are you? Even though he's dead. Even though it can't hurt him anymore." Marcus thought about it. About his mother. About Danny. About everyone who'd loved and respected Thomas Reed. Then he thought about Keisha. About Marcus Williams. About all the people his father had hurt. "Yes," Marcus said firmly. "The truth matters. Even if it's painful. Even if it destroys his legacy. He deserves to be remembered for what he actually was. Not what people wanted him to be." Keisha nodded. Relief washed over her face. "Thank you." They sat in silence for a moment. Then Keisha spoke again. "Can I ask you something? Anything. Why did you become like him? You saw what he was. You must have seen it. So why did you follow in his footsteps?" Marcus thought about it. Really thought. "Because I wanted to be him. I wanted people to respect me the way they respected him. I wanted to be a hero like he was." He paused. "I didn't realize heroes could be villains. I didn't realize respect could be built on fear. I didn't realize that the badge he wore with such pride was stained with the trauma of people like you. And now I know better. Now I'm trying to be different. To make Sure, no one else becomes what we were. Keisha stood up. I hope you mean that. Because there are a lot of Keisha Williams out there. A lot of 16-year-old girls who've been terrorized by cops they were taught to trust. And they need someone to believe them. To protect them. To make sure it never happens again. I will. I promise. She left the diner. Marcus sat there with the notebook. His father's crimes. Written in a teenage girl's handwriting. Preserved. Documented. Undeniable. He called Agent Foster. I have something you need to see. An hour later, Marcus was back at the FBI building. Agent Foster, Agent Chen, and Assistant Director Owens sat across from him, reading Keisha's notebook. This is damning, Owens said quietly. If even half of this is true, your father wasn't just a bad cop. He was a predator. It's all true, Marcus said. I believe her. And there are others. She said there are other girls he targeted. We'll find them, Agent Foster said. We'll interview everyone. Build a case. Make sure his true legacy is documented. But he's dead, Agent Chen pointed out. We can't prosecute him. Can't arrest him. Can't hold him accountable. No, Marcus agreed. But we can make sure people know. We can include his actions in the pattern. Show that this culture of racism and abuse spans generations. That it's not just me. It's systemic. Owens nodded slowly. This changes the scope of our investigation. We're not just looking at you anymore. We're looking at a multi-generational pattern of abuse at Riverside PD. Good. Because that's what it is. My father taught me. Someone taught him. Someone taught them. It's a disease that's been passed down for decades. And it needs to be eradicated. All of it. Agent Foster looked at him carefully. You understand what this means. You're not just exposing yourself. Not just exposing Davis and the current department. You're destroying your father's legacy. Everything people believed about him. Everything your family believed about him. I know. Your mother. My mother will be devastated. So will Danny. So will everyone who loved him. But Keisha Williams deserves the truth. Marcus Williams deserves the truth. All of his victims deserve the truth. Marcus met their eyes. And the truth is that Thomas Reed was not a hero. He was a predator who used his badge to terrorize vulnerable people. Mostly black. Mostly young. Mostly powerless. Some legacies are meant to be honored. Others are meant to be exposed. And the hardest thing you'll ever do is admit that the person you loved most was the second kind. Owens closed the notebook. Okay. We'll proceed. But Reed, this is going to get worse before it gets better. Your family will hate you. The community will be divided. Some will praise you for telling the truth. Others will accuse you of dishonoring your father's memory. Let them. I'd rather be hated for telling the truth than loved for protecting a lie. Agent Foster stood. Next meeting is Friday. Dr. Marcus Chen. The cardiologist you stopped in 2017. Are you ready? Marcus thought about it. 3 meetings down. 16 to go. Each one harder than the last. Each one revealing more damage. More pain. More lives destroyed.